Boom! We are live and welcome. We
Ho,
say
ho,
welcome,
ho, it's Mrs. Santa Claus
This
here.
is Santa Claus. So we'll say welcome replay viewers because anybody that's watching that's planning on joining us live probably didn't even see that part of it. They'll see the replay. And so good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are in the world. And wherever you might be joining us from or where you're seeing this broadcast. We are on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. So be sure to like, follow, share, all of those things for whatever platform it is that you're on. We appreciate it if you share it out to others who you think may enjoy or get some benefit from watching the show. I am Stan Shields, and with me is Dr. Victoria Boyd, AKA Mrs. Claus.
With this past year, this season, I just have to ramp it up a few notches because everything has been such a bummer downer and, in many aspects. And so I decided, let's just get into the spirit, put on my Santa hat and wear my red and sparklies and take it from there. And here we are, systemsummit.com live.
And System Summit's colors are red and black anyway, so it just kind of fits right in, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Our colors.
That's right. Exactly. So let's do this. Just jump into maybe telling a little bit about what System Summit is, how that came about before we dive into our topic of micro businesses. But what is System Summit?
As a founder of the Philanthropreneur Foundation, we are a nonprofit that supports education, awareness, and resources. And we do that through training. We have a training center, a brick and mortar facility in Nevada, but we have been closed since March. And we had to look at other ways to serve our audience and those that need us. And we had always been exploring the virtual platform, virtual conferences, even tried to plan one for last year, but businesses weren't quite buying into it because they felt they needed that face-to-face. Ha-ha. Guess what? Pandemic said, that's not going to happen right now, honey. So it forced people to actually use the virtual platforms, and voila, they found out that, oh my, it actually works. And so through just looking at all of the training we had and what we could do, System Summit evolved out of the need where we saw it. Systems. Most micro businesses, small nonprofits, haven't put the correct systems in place. And so our System Summit addresses for the micro business sector systems, processes, mindsets, all of those things that they really need to focus on. We do it 4 times per year. Next one is January 27th and 28th. The theme is purpose, passion, and profits, because you really can't be successful in business if you don't come with purpose and passion. And so that's how we're framing it. And I'm just excited because it's growing. The momentum is there. We're getting inquiries about it daily. And so I'm extremely excited to be a part of System Summit.
Perfect. It's exciting. I was going to ask you, how did you come about with a systems summit, right? What was it that made that be the direction that you chose to go with this? Because, for me, and I know why you brought me in, because that's it for me, is I'm a systems kind of a guy, right? But that was the key is was there anything that really stood out that made you think about why systems versus anything else?
If you look at any of my past documentations, teachings, training, I taught nonprofit management at UNLV for about 9 years and did many external trainings. And generally, one of the common threads that I make to my groups is that you need to have systems, operations, and management in place. And so it was still following the path that I've always followed. What are the systems? Even like if it's in just the nonprofit sector, you still need a system for fundraising development, board training and onboarding. These are all systems that you need to put in place. The process creates those systems, and then the tactics and goals and objectives, that's how you accomplish them.
Right. So look at this. This is excellent here from Silver Rain. Is it Running Cloud? I think excellent. This is just what our membership needs. Thank you, Silver Rain, for joining us. We appreciate it. Awesome. Good. Let's see here. Oh, she made another comment too that says support for micro enterprises.
Yes.
Exactly. That is exactly it, right? Support for micro enterprises. So micro businesses. In fact, that was a great lead in for what we're going to talk about today. What is a micro enterprise? What is a micro business? What do we mean by that?
Absolutely. I mean, because it's actually a subgroup of small businesses. Small businesses could range up to 50 employees. Micro businesses generally are 5 and under. And you'd be surprised that 86% of the U.S. economy is built out of these micro businesses. All of these home-based businesses, the network marketing, direct sales, the entrepreneurs that put together and are doing what is called systems and processes, speakers.
I was going to say coaches, speakers, those kinds of people.
Yes,
typically they are micro businesses, right?
They are micro businesses. Now, many micro businesses initially start as a side. I always hate to say hustle, but it's a side revenue stream for many individuals that evolved out of a passion, but then it became viable. And so they broke off of their paid job and did this. I am an example of that. Even though I had an original career in education, when I moved to Nevada, I worked at 3 different jobs. Was employed by different people. So I really wanted to emphasize that I have done this, and I actually wrote a book, The Wealthy Teacher, answering the question, what's next? Because I went through this whole thought process of, okay, I was a teacher, but what can I do now? And I delved into how to become an entrepreneur and dip my toe in that, I call it the stream. So I've lived it, I've done it. And so micro businesses have a special place in my heart because I also deal with a lot of micro nonprofits, and you'd be surprised how many of those are out there. So we're going to talk about micro businesses because one of the key things we want them to understand is they have special needs. We're not calling them special. They have special needs, but they can't think like a corporation. I know they want to try, to be that big corporation branding, but they don't need some of the tools and strategies, systems that corporations use. There are special tools and strategies specifically built for the micro businesses. And we want to make sure they become aware of them, they get educated about them, and they know where to find those resources.
I like this comment that Silver Rain made that says systems, processes, automation. Absolutely.
That's right. That's what we preach.
That's what it's all about. So perfect. So now today we were going to talk about 12 essential, what you call your pearls of wisdom. I finally got it right this morning. So pearls of wisdom, but the 12 essential pieces of small business, micro business advice or small micro business advice. And so tell us what this document is, where it came from.
When we held our first summit back in October, I always like to give away some perks, some bonuses. And this is an e-document that I created and put together. It's called the 12 Essential Pearls for Micro Businesses. But what it evolved out, I do a lot of research. And in my research, I came across this report from Dreamforce, which is a big conference that's held. Well, they haven't held it since 2018. They might have had it in 2019, but this report is from 2018. They do a lot of research marketing at their conferences, and they researched or did a survey with 1,000 attendees and asked them for pearls of wisdom for small businesses. And it was amazing. And so they organized it, and I really loved what they were saying, because not only was it, sort of bare bones truth, but they put it in a funny format and made it light. but yet you go, oh, wow, yeah, and created aha moments for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed them. And they gave what is called the lead pearls of wisdom, and then they had some runner-ups, as they call them. And so we're going to go through some of these because I just think they're fun and informative.
So let's do that. So let's take the first one here. It says every journey starts with one step. Make sure you have the right shoes to go far. What does that really mean?
Yeah, well, guess what? You can relate to that every day. If your shoes aren't fitting, you're not going anywhere. But
Mm-hmm.
you need to look at some of the decisions that you make. And one of them relates to, as a small business, don't try to make decisions like a corporation would. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure the systems and processes that you're trying to fit into your business fit your business. You'll hear many people out there saying, yeah, you want to grow your business. Do you really want to grow your business, or do you want to scale your business? And there's a big difference between the two. Most micro businesses actually want to scale and not grow. They're not looking to open up 5 or 6 more offices and things like that. They're looking to serve more people, but
Mm-hmm.
not to become a big corporation. So looking and making sure you have the right tools, systems, and operations
Mm-hmm.
that you're
Mm-hmm.
using means you have the
Mm-hmm.
right shoes on. It's very similar to, get the right people on the bus that
Mm-hmm.
Collins used to say. Jim Collins, who wrote the book, Great to Great,
Oh,
going good
good
to
to
great,
great. Good to
great
great.
and
Yep.
great goodness, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Good to great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's having the right people on the bus, having the right shoes on your feet. And some
Mm-hmm.
of the runners up is start on the right foot and invest in the right software tools to be successful, so you don't have to start over again down the road. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I just
I
said.
mean, some of that is easy to say, but not necessarily easy to do, because depending on what does happen with your business, if you're not trying to grow to a larger enterprise, but just trying to scale so you can serve more people and whatnot, then that's maybe an easier decision than if once you've grown, if you go from one location to now 10 locations, then sometimes that software that serves 10 locations isn't affordable for one location, blah, blah, blah. I mean, but you
Yeah,
make the best
but
decisions
that's
you
also
can,
the
right?
difference between scaling and growth. You have to know
Exactly.
what your goals are,
Where do you
and
want to go?
yeah, where you want to go and what you want to
Mm-hmm.
do. Some
Mm-hmm.
people as entrepreneurs do want to have growth. Others
Mm-hmm.
just want to scale, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's exactly what that means.
Now, you
And
know what I got out of
attend
that,
System
though?
Summit, and they'll learn a lot more of that.
That's right. They'll learn more about it. You know what I got out of that, though? With every journey starts with one step. That very first part of that was sometimes people have a hard time taking the step, right?
Yep,
And that's my thing, is just take the step. Just take
yep.
a step and move in a direction, and then you just keep going and just put one foot after the other,
Yeah,
right?
and that generally, well, that applies a lot of times to those startups of people who have these dreams, but
Right,
dreams remain dreams unless
right.
action is applied to them,
Unless you act on it.
unless you act on it. And so
That's right.
the micro businesses that we serve are already in the business. They have
Yep.
taken that first step, but now they're about to climb this steep stairwell, and they
Yep.
got to make sure they keep taking those steps. And
Yep.
that sort of leads into the next one. Number 2, don't boil the ocean. Think small and fast.
Mm-hmm. Be
Which
fast.
it very similar to, how do you eat an elephant? One
Yeah,
bite at a
one bite
time.
at a time, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could misread this, though. When you look at this one, you could look at this and you could say, think small and fast. And everybody says, no, think big, right? So, but you can think big, you can think elephant, but you can't eat the elephant in one bite. So you have to break it down into small steps.
and you can't boil the ocean. So
That's right. So you got to take some buckets of water out of it and boil those.
yeah, but that, the enormity of some thoughts, that's what causes overwhelm.
Yes,
I
yes.
get this, and this is a personality flaw that I have. I tend to think too big, too fast, and I have to sometimes pull myself back. Okay, no, let's do this first and
Mm-hmm.
make that work, and then go
Mm-hmm.
to the next step. So that sort of touched me in terms of, yeah, that's sometimes me.
Yeah. And I love this next one. Trust your instinct. Okay. You may just know the next industry trend.
That is the definition of an entrepreneur. An
Uh-huh.
entrepreneur is defined as a person who takes risk,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
will put everything on the line for something they believe in. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where, to me, purpose and passion come in.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, I know I was driven by passion. I love to teach. I love to see other people grow, see organizations develop. And so that has been my passion, and my purpose has been to educate them, to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they receive the tools that they need. And so those two have been what has been my driving force. And so no matter what business in, if you just jumped into it for the finances, you won't stay in it for long.
Right.
You
Right.
really have to be connected. I mean, an internal connection to what you're doing in order
Mm-hmm.
for you to stay, first of all, focused on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then to stay motivated by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people have great ideas, but they never tell anybody. They just keep them.
Well, see, so that was the comment that I added to this, right? Is I said, because that's what I looked at when I first saw this phrase. I said, well, think about this: act now. Whatever that idea is, the instinct, act now on it, because and don't let someone else take that idea, and next thing you know, you had this brilliant idea that you thought, oh wow, this will be a really cool thing to do, but you didn't act on it, and then a little while later you saw somebody else did, and it
Yeah.
was out there. You saw it on TV, or you saw something with it, right?
Or,
So
another great example is, okay, so you have the idea, but you saw somebody else came out with something similar,
yeah,
but
and
you
then
can
you let
tweak it
yours
and make
go.
it better. Don't
Mm-hmm.
be intimidated by competition. Competition makes us grow.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
when we
right.
started System Summits, the marketplace was being flooded with virtual events.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I knew different platforms that could take it to a different level.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons and tons of Zoom events and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's tools and platforms that we employ with System Summits that really takes it to a whole nother level of
Mm-hmm.
how we engage the attendees, how we work with the speakers, and we've made it a real experience versus
Mm-hmm.
just an event.
Mm-hmm. I love this. Silver Rain is just very active with us today. I love it, but very important to establish a solid cyberspace foundation. That is so true and so critical for going forward, because for the people that have resisted doing anything online, that now it's, as you said in the very beginning, the pandemic has forced the issue. But now you have to figure out, how do I get this solid foundation for
Yeah.
online, and how do I move forward with it, right?
And great segue. I'm glad she said that.
Yes.
Webinar Secrets, the training, Webinar
Oh,
Secrets
yeah.
Unwrapped, will
Yeah.
help people make that transition from their face-to-face to virtual presentations that are effective and efficient. And I'm excited because it will be released probably within the next 5 days. I'm editing it right now. I've recorded it. And so it should be out soon, definitely before System Summit starts. But it's going to be a great tool for any business that is challenged with, how do I make that transition in terms of making presentations? I don't want to call you a speaker, because that's a whole different world out there, but you want to be able to make presentations that represent your business. And there we have it, Webinar
Good.
Secrets
Perfect.
Unwrapped.
Good. So now you touched on number 4, because we are
Yeah,
not going to get through all of these today. But look at this. You touched on number 4 earlier.
so
Dream big, but
let's skip.
remember to scale for the future.
Yeah. So we can actually sort of skip that one, but yeah, you're
Okay.
scaling for the future. Look at tools that can grow, just like Active Campaign. You and I both use Active Campaign. I have what is called the minimum, or the lowest paid product right now, and it's serving me well. But there are ways to scale and make it work bigger in the future. So I won't have to switch the whole process. It's just adding more features that I need as it goes. So that's a great thing to look at. Will the tool that you're exploring grow with you?
Right.
Okay, let me see. Be open to the journey without being too rigid on the outcome. Okay, I've had to speak to many nonprofits. They come with this passion and vision of what they need it to be, or even going back to my original career of choreography, where some of my students used to create these movement combinations, and they just didn't really fit, or they weren't communicating what they were trying to say. I said, you can't get married to the thought. Remember, it's the process that is more valuable. And so sometimes your goals or what you're doing has to shift based on what actually evolved. And so don't get married to thoughts, ideas, or even systems that you've put in place. For example, many nonprofits will get all excited. Oh, yeah, we have a Facebook page. And so I say, so where's your website? Well, we have a Facebook page. No, where's your website? And they're so rigid that to think that the Facebook page is all they need. And so it's being open to ideas, shifting, growing, which may take you in a new direction.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
I like it. Biggest strength is having no ego. And that is difficult for many entrepreneurs, because if you just look at the characteristics or personalities of most entrepreneurs,
yeah,
we're bosses, we're bossy.
That's right. You know, I had a student one time, though, we asked the question in class that we said, what is leadership? And she had the best answer to that I love to this day still. She said, be the boss, but don't be bossy. Well, and I think this little girl was like 8 years old, right? When she said that, it was like, holy moly, where did that come from?
You know, right? You can be the leader, but you're at the back pushing versus pulling.
Yep, that's it. So now you brought up webinar secrets a minute ago, but let's show the thank you kind of a little commercial real quick here, and then let's proceed with our list. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and we are back.
Of the trade. Hey.
What's that? All right, so what's the next one?
Okay, so one great employee is better than 10 bad employees.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, for so many reasons, right?
Many entrepreneurs are afraid to get rid of bad apples, or I call them people that aren't working with the team. I've come across that because I don't have employees. I have contracted services, or I use contractors or independent contractors, 1099s. And I like that format because it's usually a 6-month contract, or, project based. Because if they don't work out, just don't have to renew the contract.
Right.
It's when you make these long-term commitments before you really know who you're dealing with. Right. That's where you sort of get in trouble.
Well,
if you do a lot of, I have a webinar called Working with VAs, or to VA or not to VA. It was in our last summit. And it really talks about the steps you as an employee must go through before you actually bring on a team or contracted services, and all of the things you need to do for them to make sure that you don't set them up for failure. But 10 bad employees will bring your company down.
Oh yeah, big time. So one of the little challenges for small businesses or micro businesses is being careful of who you hire in the first place. Because quite often it's just a friend or a family member or whatever. There's really not a lot of thought that's gone into They just know that they need somebody that can help with this thing. And then it just turns into kind of a bad situation. So you just want to have a clear intent of what you need and really make it a systemized approach to hiring people. Yeah. What is it that what's the skill set that I need in this job? What's the personality set that I need in this job? You got to analyze all of those pieces and then hire somebody to fit that, not hire your best friend or whatever.
Some of the very first things we said, if they have a passion for what you're doing also, they probably will put in the effort that you need. So,
right.
Being in the nonprofit sector, we often have the opportunity to work with volunteers, and those people stand out. They're like the cream that rises to the top of the milk crate,
Yep.
And it's easy in that sector. It's a little bit harder when you're in the for-profit, and generally most people are looking for compensation pay, that goes back to the other one. Don't be so rigid that you can't fire somebody or let them. So this one sort of layers up on that,
Right. And that's one of the hardest things is to fire people. Oh my gosh, but you got to just learn to do it. Right. So now let's finish up with this last one that you have here, or not last one. Let's finish up with number 9. Number 9 is probably my favorite of all of them for a number of reasons. And I will add my little comment to it after you introduce it and talk about it for a second here in terms of what your thoughts were with it. But what's number 9?
Whether you think it's possible or not, you are right. Because first of all, once again, entrepreneurs take risks. It may have never been done before. So try it. If you never try it, the answer is always no.
Right.
So try it. Guess what? You might be that next thought leader, but people say you learn from your mistakes. Absolutely. It's the next door opening. I know I'll never do that again.
That's right.
I can say that very often,
That's right.
And so you can check those things off your list, and it narrows down what works for you.
Right. So what that brought up for me right off the bat was Henry Ford's quote. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
And that's probably
it all really just comes back to the mind, right?
Yeah, your mindset.
The mindset behind it and the willingness. There's these 5 levels of failure. Have you ever heard this? Have you ever heard me talk about the 5 levels of failure?
No.
I read it in a book, and I love this because you literally just said it. But the 5 levels are, the first level is the ability to fail. So we're all born with it. Everybody's got the ability to fail. The second level is the willingness to fail. And that's about 20% of the world that goes out and tries something different and new and risky. They go into business, they do whatever. So they have the willingness to fail, but then they say the wantingness to fail. Right. So which is the level that used to just throw me for a total loop, because I said, why would you want to fail? Well, the reason you would want to fail is because you know that failure is going to take you to the next level. You know that when you fail, you're going to learn something, and you're going to then be able to grow and develop from that. Right. Yep. And then what is the next one then? It is I'm like totally drawing a blank on it now. It is, ability to fail, willing to fail, wanting to fail. It goes along the lines of failing intentionally or failing. The last one is failing exponentially, right? Okay. And so, but this one is failing at a larger level, right? So that you're not trying to fail, but you're just willing to take bigger risks, right? Because you know you're going to grow out of that, and it's going to take you to the next place.
Look at the example of System Summit. When I first introduced it to you, you were like, oh yeah, because my email to you, you are a perfect fit, But I sort of had to sell you on the idea, because some of your how are you possibly going to do this in 12 weeks, or, it was bringing up what I call the challenges. And I just kept saying, I'll do it. I'll get it done. It will get done, because that's the type of, if I say I'm going to do something, no matter what it takes, it will get done. And I sort of like that about me. But sometimes it gets me in trouble, because then I get that overwhelmed. But it happened. Now, was it a 100% success? No, we need to tweak things. But that is the act of continuous improvement, total quality management.
Right.
You review it, you tweak it, you make it better.
So the fourth, failing bigger and faster. That's what it was, failing bigger and faster. And the last one is failing exponentially. Okay. So, all right, ready? So let's now, so for people that liked these and you would like to get the others, you want to know what the others are, then please go over to systemssummits.com. It's at the top left of your screen, systemssummits.com. You can sign up to be on the wait list right there. The wait list will then, that's right, we'll let you know when the registration is actually going to open for the summit. And when it does open, and when you do register for the summit, you will get these 12 pearls of wisdom as one of your free downloads, along with some other gifts that you'll get just by simply registering, right?
No, this is for the upgrade, the all access pass.
Because last time it was free with the thing when they registered.
They got nothing when they just.
All right, well, we won't argue with that on screen. But anyway, so tell people anything else they need to know about System Summits.
Well, I'm really excited about the lineup that's coming for the next summit. The registration page, I was actually working on it today. The countdown timer is on it. It should open right after the first of the year for the information. Registration officially, early bird officially opens January 9th. So look for that. Get on go to YouTube, subscribe, activate the notifications. And so we'll be announcing on this show the day that it opens, because we have a show the day that, the day, 2 days before registrations opens, we have a show, and we'll be announcing it.
Okay, good. So come back and join us every show for each week as we go forward.
We might even give away some gifts. Who knows?
Who knows, right? So perfect. All right, good. All right, so we appreciate you joining us and hanging out with us. So today we had some people. Silver Rain, we appreciate you jumping on and participating with us. I love her comment. She made another comment here. Failure takes you to the next level. That's exactly what we said, right? That you gotta fail forward. That's one of those old things that we used to say a long time ago. Fail forward. You just know that you're not going to be 100% successful every time. Just keep moving forward, right? Okay, good. So make sure you like us, follow us, subscribe, whatever it is, on whatever platform you might be on. Share it with your friends, share it with your network. We'd appreciate it. And we will then see you next time. So we'll be back here next Tuesday on Blitzer. That's right. So join us next Tuesday on Blitzer. And if you're not sure what Blitzer is, I do have a link in here somewhere for Blitzer, but
if they go to any of our Facebook pages, they'll see it.
That's right. Go to the Facebook page. You'll see it, right? You can go to
System Summit, Philanthropreneur Foundation, Dr. Victoria Boyd. It's all plastered all over all of those.
Everywhere, right? So come join us on Blitzer. Blitzer is a networking event. It allows you to meet 5 to 7 new people that you may have not met before. And because now we can network with people nationwide, worldwide, for that matter. So you can meet people from all over. So come hang out on Blitzer. And then next Wednesday, we'll be right back here for another version of System Summits. All right. So with that, then, folks, we will see you next time. And enjoy your holiday, especially, right? Enjoy your holiday and your weekend, and we'll see you next week. All right.